Can I start? Hi. Hello. How are you all? Good afternoon to all. Good afternoon. Is my audio and video are clear to all of you? Please respond. Audio and video are clear? Okay, good. How you wrote your exams? All of you? Okay, good. So welcome to our college, future doctors. Right. My name is, let me introduce myself. My name is Haribabu P. I will teach botany for you. And you know very well, botany is one of the important topic as far as NEET examination is concerned. And today we will teach the basic topic, the important topic, that is morphology of flowering plants. This is a very important topic. I will discuss briefly the basic account of this morphology. First of all, let us know what is morphology. The term morphology was derived from Greek language. Morpheo or morphe means form. Logos means study. The term morphology was derived from Greek language. Morphe means form, logos means study. That means the branch of biology which deals with the study of form, structure, size, color, etc. of an organism is known as morphology. Morphology may be defined as the branch of botany or the branch of biology which deals with the study of form, structure, color, size, etc. of organisms is known as morphology. Okay? Then that means we can say simply the external form of an organism is known as, the study of external form of an organism is known as morphology. Right. Then what are flowering plants? You know, in the plant kingdom, there are 5 groups of plants, namely algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. There are 5 groups of plants constitute the plant kingdom. Among all these 5 groups of plants, these are the advanced plants, the most recent plants, and these are called as flowering plants. That means they produce flowers, they produce fruits, they produce seeds, right? So these angiosperms are known as flowering plants. And these angiosperms are the dominant plants on the earth, the most evolved plants on the earth. And we directly or indirectly depends on these organisms, these plants for food, for clothing, for shelter, all. And we will cultivate mostly these organisms. And these angiosperms are again divided into 2 groups, namely dicots and monocots. Angiosperms are further divided into 2 groups, namely dicots and monocots. Right? I hope you understand, all of you. What is morphology? Which plants are called as flowering plants? Just I told you the definitions of these 2. What is morphology? The branch of biology that deals with the study of form, structure, size, color, etc. of organisms is known as morphology. Then which group of plants are called flowering plants? Angiosperms are called flowering plants. What is the meaning of angiosperm? Angio means covering. Sperma means seed. Angio means covering. Sperma means seed. Seeds are covered by fruit wall. Or otherwise we can say like this. Seeds are present inside the fruit. Fruit encloses the seeds. And such group of plants where the seeds are present inside the fruit are called as angiosperms. As I said, these are the dominant plants. These are highly evolved plants. And these plants constitute more than 50% of the plants on this earth. And these plants are having a lot of economic importance. Right? And these plants are again divided into 2 groups, namely dicots and monocots. Right. And these angiospermic plants show a great diversity, a lot of diversity, a number of variations. For example, these angiosperms shows diversity in the habit, diversity in the size, diversity in the habitat, diversity in the lifespan. They show a lot of diversity, great diversity in different aspects. For example, see here, if you take the size, Wolffia, smallest angiospermic plant, smallest angiospermic plant. You know the size of this plant? The size, the diameter of this plant is 0.1 millimeters. Such a microscopic plant. This is also angiospermic plant. This also produces flowers. Understand? This is the smallest flowering plant, smallest angiospermic plant. This is an aquatic plant. This plant do not have root system. It is a rootless, smallest angiospermic plant. On the other hand, contrary to this, eucalyptus, tallest flowering plant, tallest angiospermic plant. See, look at this. This plant grows over 100 meters. It grows over 100 meters tall. It is one of the tallest plant. This is the smallest plant. This is the tallest plant. Similarly, you know, there is Ficus bengalensis, another plant. Ficus bengalensis, commonly known as banyan tree. This plant is the largest angiospermic plant. This is largest angiospermic plant, which may cover around 2 to 5 acre of land. I hope you understand. You are following well, right? This is the smallest plant, whose diameter is just 0.1 millimeter. Opposite to that, eucalyptus is the tallest plant, which can grow over 100 meters. And this is the largest plant, which can cover around 2 to 5 acres of land. That is a huge plant. They spread over the land. And they show a lot of diversity in their size. Angiosperm shows a lot of diversity in size. Just I told you some examples. Similarly, angiosperms shows diversity in the habit as well. Habit. What is meant by habit? The overall appearance of an organism. The outer look of an organism is called the habit. It is not habitat, it is habit. Based on the habit, there are different plants. But mainly there are 3 types. Namely, based on the habit, plants, angiospermic plants are 3 types, namely herbs, shrubs, and trees. Of course, there are other plants also. They may be trailers, creepers, twiners, climbers, lianes, epiphytes. There are so many plants are there, but basically, generally, usually, we divide angiosperms into 3 groups based on the habit. The 3 groups of organisms are herbs, shrubs, and trees. What is a herb? Herb is a small plant with a soft stem, and it grows up to less than 2 meters height. It is a soft plant. It is a small plant. It can grow only up to less than 2 meters height. And this plant is a herb. herbaceous plants. Rice is a herb. Wheat is a herb. Those are herbaceous plants. Similarly, shrubs. What are shrubs? Shrubs are bushy plants. That is why these are also called as bushes. Here in this, no trunk. Trunk is absent. Many branches arises from the base. All the branches grow and looks like a bush. That is, these are nature. These are wood, hard. These are woody in nature, and those are called as shrubs. These are medium in height. The height of these plants is medium. And for example, jasmine is a shrub. Rose is a shrub. And similarly, trees. These are large plants. These are having trunk. These are having trunk. These are large plants. They may be branched or unbranched. Okay? Based on the habit, the angiosperms are classified into three groups, namely herbs, shrubs, and trees. They show a lot of variety or variations, diversity in this aspect. And similarly, they show variation in lifespan also. In lifespan. Based on the lifespan, the angiosperms are classified into three types, namely annuals, biennials, and perennials. So they also show diversity. They also show diversity in the lifespan. Based on that, mainly they are divided into three groups: annuals, biennials, perennials, like that. The plants which complete their life cycle in one season of few weeks to few months are called annuals. Few weeks to few months are called annuals. For example, wheat is an annual, rice is an annual. Similarly, the plants which complete their life cycle in 2 seasons, that is more than 1 year, are called biennials. Usually these plants during first year they synthesize food material and store the food material, and in the second year the stored food is utilized to synthesize to produce flowers, fruits, etc. And these plants are called biennials. For example, carrot is a biennial, radish is a biennial. So these are common examples. And perennials, the plants which complete their life cycle from few years to several hundred years are called perennials. Simply you can say lifespan is less than 1 year, here 2 years, here many years. That is lifespan. So we're talking about diversity of angiosperms. So angiosperms are largest group. They show great diversity in different aspects. Okay? Right. Trunk means, the cylindrical stem is present mainly. That is called trunk. Okay? Right. from base to the top, there is a cylindrical structure, and that is called as the trunk. Okay. So we're talking about these angiosperms. Now let us see an angiospermic plant body. These are basics to understand for any botany student. In order to understand all other topics, these are basics everybody has to learn comprehensively. Okay. Now let us see parts of an angiospermic flowering plant. Parts of an angiospermic plant. Okay. Now I will draw a brief sketch of an angiospermic plant so that you can easily understand the different parts of an angiospermic plant. Okay. See this, all of you. This is the parts of a flowering plant. For example, I have drawn a plant, an angiospermic plant, a flowering plant. Angiosperms are called as flowering plants, right? Now, if you see the plant, basically you find two parts. The part of the plant which grow below the soil, or simply you can say underground part of the plant, is called root system. Underground part of the plant body is called root system. And the part of the plant body that is present above the ground is called as shoot system. Okay, this is shoot system. So an angiospermic plant body mainly consists of two parts. An underground part called root system, an aerial part or the part that is present above the ground constitutes shoot system. So there are two parts mainly in an angiospermic plant body: root system, shoot system. Clear? The root system is present below the soil. It provides anchorage, support to the plant body. And also this root system absorb the water and minerals from the soil and supply to the shoot system. We will discuss separately the root later. Okay? And the part of the plant body that is present above the soil aerially, is called as shoot system. And this shoot system consists of the main axis, this one, that green colored part is called stem. The main axis of the plant body is called stem. The stem is divisible into nodes and internodes. See, this is the node, this is the node, this is the node. A node is a place where leaf arises. What is a node? A node is a place where leaf arises. So leaves are born at the nodes. And the portion between the two nodes, this is node, this is also node. The portion between the two nodes is called internode. Okay. The main axis of the shoot system is called stem. The stem is divisible into nodes and internodes. A node is a place where leaf arises. The distance between the two nodes is called as internode. Okay. And the angle between the leaf and the stem is called axial. See, this is called axial. The angle between the leaf and the stem is called axial. Axial contain axillary bud. This is the axillary bud. This axillary bud usually develops into either branch or flower, depending on whether it is a floral bud or vegetative bud. If it is a vegetative bud, it develops into branch. If it is a floral bud, it develops into flower. Okay? And these are leaves, as I said. And it also contains flowers and fruits. This is flower and this is fruit. And finally, at the tip of the stem, there is a bud. This is called terminal bud or apical bud. Terminal bud is also called apical bud. This bud helps in maintaining vertical growth of the plant body. If you cut that bud, vertical growth stopped. So the terminal bud or apical bud helps in maintaining vertical growth of the plant body. Understand? This is a brief account of parts of a flowering plant. Once again, I go through this. You follow once again briefly. An angiospermic plant body consisting of two parts. The underground part called root system and the aerial part called shoot system. The root system provides anchorage or support and also helps in absorption of water and minerals from the soil. And the above part is called shoot system. Remember, shoot system means the main stem, their branches, leaves, flowers, fruits, all combinedly known as shoot system. Shoot system includes stem, branches, leaves, flowers, and fruits. This total one is called as shoot system. Okay. Similarly, here also it is a root system. I will explain later in detail account. Okay. And the main axis is called stem. Stem is divided into nodes and internodes. At nodes, leaves arises. The portion between the nodes is called internode. Okay. And the angle between the stem and the leaf is called axil. Axil contain axillary bud. The axillary bud develops into either branch or the flower. So this is about the parts of a flowering plant. Students, are you following? Everybody? Are you following clearly? Do you have any doubts regarding this? Okay, good. And now we will go to the another one, the first part, that is the root system now. The root. The root. The root is positively geotropic. That means they grow always towards the gravity into the soil. Or you can say negatively phototropic. That means they grow away from the light. Away from the light. And the root is positively hydrotrophic. That means they grow towards the water that is present in the soil. So the roots are positively geotropic, negatively phototrophic, positively hydrotrophic. And the roots are generally non-green in color because of lack of chlorophyll. Because of absence of chlorophyll, they are non-green in color. And no nodes and no internodes. Nodes and internodes are absent. No nodes, no internodes. That is the main character by which we can discriminate stem from the root. Stem is characterized by the presence of nodes and internodes, and no nodes and internodes in the root, and no leaves also. No leaves and no buds also. Usually there may be some exceptionally buds may be present, but normal buds are absent. Okay. These are the characteristic features of the root. Root is positively geotropic. They grow always towards the gravity, towards the soil. Root is negatively phototropic. That means they grow away from the light. Roots are positively hydrotropic. They grow towards the water that is present in the soil. Roots are usually non-green in color because there is no chlorophyll in roots. Exceptions may be there, but generally, and roots do not contain nodes and internodes. That means no nodes and internodes, no leaves, no buds. Right? Now let us see the types of root system. Types of root system. There are three types of root systems in plants. Types of root system. There are three types of root systems in plants. They are: 1. Tap root system. Tap root system. We can say simply TRS. Tap root system. Then fibrous root system. Fibrous root system. FRS. And adventitious root system. Adventitious root system. ARS. So root systems are broadly divided into three types in plants, in angiosperms. They are tap root system, fibrous root system, adventitious root system. Okay, let us see briefly one by one. Tap root system is formed from plumule of radicle of the embryonal axis. For example, all of you see here, this is the dicot embryo. Dicot embryo. In the dicot embryo, three parts are there. This is called plumule. This is called radicle. It is not radical, it is radicle. And these are the cotyledons. Cotyledons. Okay. Tap root system is formed from radicle of the embryonal axis. Radicle of the embryonal axis. Okay. Tap root system is formed from radicle of the embryonal axis. These two root systems are not formed from radicle. Okay, that means radicle prolongates into main root. Radicle prolongates into main root called primary root. Called primary root. This is called primary root. This primary root is nothing but the prolongation of the radicle. And this primary root produces roots of several orders. First order roots, second order roots, third order roots, etc. Or you can say secondary root, tertiary root, etc. Like this. All of you see. This is primary root. This is primary root. This primary root is the direct elongation of the radicle. From primary root, this is the secondary root. Understand? From the secondary root, third order roots are also produced. For example, these. These are called tertiary roots. Tertiary roots. The ultimate branches of these roots are called rootlets. The ultimate branches of these roots are called rootlets. Understand? This is the primary root, which is nothing but the direct elongation of the radicle, and this primary root produces secondary roots. Secondary roots produces tertiary roots, and the ultimate branches of these roots are called rootlets, and these rootlets possess root hairs. Okay, and all these primary root, secondary roots, tertiary roots, and rootlets totally constitute what is known as taproot system. This is a taproot system. This is commonly seen in dicot plants. This is commonly seen in dicots. Best examples are mustard, mango, pea plant, etc. All these are examples. Okay. So this is about taproot system. Taproot system is commonly seen in dicots. Taproot system is formed from radicle of the embryonal axis. The radicle elongates and become the primary root. The primary root produces secondary roots, and secondary roots produces tertiary roots, and which produces rootlets, and which may possess root hairs. Understood? Yes. And second one is, I told you already, the second one is fibrous root system. Okay? This fibrous root system, see here, fibrous root system. In this root system, the primary root is short-lived. the primary root is short-lived. Primary root is formed, immediately disintegrated. That means this root system is not formed from the radical. The primary root is short-lived, and after disintegration of that root, a group of identical roots arises from the base of the stem like this. A group of identical roots arises like this. These are called lateral roots. Primary, secondary, tertiary roots are called as lateral roots. Okay? See all of you here. So from the base of the stem, a group of roots arises, and these roots looks like a fibers. That is why these are called as fibrous roots. These are fibrous roots. Okay? So you have to discriminate taproot from fibrous root system. See here, primary root is short-lived. Immediately after the disintegration of the primary root, not a single root, a group of roots, a cluster of roots arises from the base of the stem. This part is called as base of the stem. This part is called base of stem. From the base of the stem, a group of roots arises, and they also contain lateral roots. And these roots, identical roots, looks like fibers, are called fibrous roots. And these are commonly seen in monocots. These are commonly found in monocots. Best examples are wheat, rice, maize, etc. This is called fibrous root system. Okay? I hope you are following well, right? And third one is adventitious root system. Okay, see all of here. There are three types of root systems: taproot system, fibrous root system, adventitious root system. I told you already what is taproot system. In which plants it is present? It is present in dicot plants. This is present in monocot plants. This is formed from radical. This is not formed from radical. This is formed from base of the stem in the form of cluster. Understood? Right. And third one is adventitious root system. Let us see what is adventitious root system. Okay, what is adventitious root system? The root system which develops from any part of the plant body other than the radical is known as adventitious root system. What is adventitious root system? The root system which develops from any part of the plant body other than the radical is called as adventitious root system. These roots may be produced from underground part or from aerial part. Okay? But they are not produced from the radicle. Any part of the plant, it may be from the nodes, or it may be from internodes, but not from the radicle. Then it is called adventitious root system. Adventitious means other than radical. For example, this is the stem. The stem creeping on the ground. The stem is creeping on the ground. Right? At some places, it touches the ground. Right? That means it contacts with the soil. At that place, it produces roots. It produces roots like this. These are adventitious roots. On the upper side, there may be leaves. Understand? Here, upper side, leaves are produced. On the lower side, it produces adventitious roots. These are adventitious roots. Try to understand clearly. Here the stem is creeping on the ground, and at some places it touches with the ground. At the point of contact with the soil, there are nodes are there here. At the node, it produces leaves. Sometimes, there is a stem here. For example, look at this. Here there is a node. On the upper side of this one, there is a leaf like that. And single root may be also be present here. Sometimes it may be tuberous as well. Single tuberous root may be present. So it is not formed from the radicle. You can say that any root arises from any part of the plant body other than the radicle, then you can call it as adventitious roots. These are present in both dicot plants and monocot plants. Both in dicots and monocots. Understood? Taproot system commonly seen in dicots. Fibrous root system commonly seen in monocots. Adventitious root system or adventitious roots are seen in both dicots and monocots. For example, banyan tree. Banyan tree shows adventitious roots along with taproot. Remember that a plant may contain more than one type of roots also. More than one type of root also. For example, in banyan tree, there is a taproot system and also adventitious root system. And similarly, monstera, another plant called monstera. And similarly, grasses. In grasses, monstera, banyan tree, adventitious root system is present. Example of adventitious roots, banyan tree. What is the botanical name of banyan tree? I told you already. What is the botanical name of banyan tree? Ficus bengalensis. This is the botanical name of banyan tree, Ficus bengalensis. Okay. So that is about the types of root systems. So root systems are broadly classified into three types, namely tap root system, adventitious root system, fibrous root system. Okay, clear, all of you? And finally, we will discuss about the functions of the root system. Okay. What are the functions of the root system? First one, it helps in absorption of water and minerals. Because root system contain numerous root hairs. These root hairs absorb water and minerals from the soil. These root hairs increases the surface area of absorption. So the first function is absorption of water and minerals from the soil. Clear? Second one, it provides anchorage, that means support to the whole plant. It gives support to the whole plant. The whole shoot system supported on the root system, that provide anchorage, support. That is the second function. Third one is, in some plants, they helps in storage of food material. Okay. Root system also helps in storage of food material. And finally, root system synthesize plant growth regulators. Plant growth regulators. Namely, PGR, simply called PGRs. See, PGR means plant growth regulators, nothing but plant hormones, phytohormones or plant hormones. For example, auxins and cytokinins. Auxins and cytokinins. These are the main functions of the root system. Understand? Phytohormones are also called plant hormones, are also known as plant growth regulators. In shortcut, they are called as PGRs. These are the four functions of root system. So once again, I will tell you, go through this. The functions of root system are: 1. It helps in absorption of water and minerals from the soil. Second one, it provide anchorage or support to the whole plant. And third one, it helps in storage of food material. And it also helps in synthesis of various plant growth regulators like auxins and cytokinins. So these are the functions of the root system. Okay, students, are you following all? Do you have any doubts regarding this? This is the basic content required by any botany student to understand better the remaining topics. Morphology is the basic to understand the remaining content of botany. Therefore, everybody should follow these basic terminology. Certain standard technical terms are required. Similarly, standard definitions you have to follow. Okay. In order to understand better, you have to know the standard technical terms, standard definitions, comprehensive understanding of the subject. All these are required. I hope you understand well. Thank you, one and all, and we will see in the next class. Okay. Thank you all.